Find the volume of the solid formed by revolving the region bounded by the curves y equals x squared and y equals x cubed around the y-axis. No, leave your answer in terms of x or pi or whatever that is. All right. We did a very similar problem in the last problem. Those of you who watch all my videos in order religiously know what's going to happen. Okay, you graph y equals x squared. I'm still graphing it like that. You graph y equals x to the third, and that happens. You have this neat little sliver that's going to take place in between. Now we're spinning it around the y-axis. So by spinning it around the y-axis, you basically get a hollow bowl. So this is going to require the washer method. Okay, the washer method, and by the way, this is, around the y-axis. If we're dealing with y's, the washer method is going to be pi times your integral from limits of a to b, we'll figure that out when we have to, f of y minus g of y, square both of those, dy. All right, so what I need to do is I need to solve both of these for x before I do anything. Solve both of these for x. So I'll do that over here where I have a little bit of space. Y equals x cubed and y equals x squared, square root, cube root, right? This becomes x to the, I'll write it out as y to the 1/3 because I'm going to need to write it out that way anyway. And this will be positive or negative, so I'll write this out as x equals positive or negative y to the 1/2. Now the positive or negative part's just going to go away. You'll see why in a little bit. Although, it doesn't really matter because I'm spinning it around. So these are my two equations. All right, these are my two equations. Let's set this puppy up. Do I have my limits yet? No, I don't even have my limits yet. Ugh. All right, so my limits are found by setting these guys equal to each other. So y to the 1/3 equals positive or negative y to the 1/2. Why don't I do this to make my life easier? And to the 6th power both sides. So you become multiply the exponents, y squared. You become multiply the exponents. Anything to the 6th power is going to become positive, so y to the 3rd. Subtract y squared from both sides, so I get that. Factor out y squared, so y squared equals y minus 1. And my limits are going to be 0 and 1. So now I can finally set this thing up. So pi times 0 to 1's integral of 5y squared. So I think I'm going to use let me see, the outer one would be the cube. So I'm going to do y to the 1/3 squared minus positive or negative y squared to the 1/2 squared dy. You become pi integral from 0 to 1 of y to the 2/3 minus, you essentially cancel out and so do you, just y dy. That becomes pi times 3/5 y to the 5/2, just reciprocal stuff, minus 1/2 y squared with limits existing at 1 and 0. Okay, pi still lives there. Plug in 1, 3/5 times 1 to the 5/3, which is going to be 1, minus 1/2 times 1 squared, which is also going to be 1, minus, if I plug in 0, you become 0. If I plug in 0, you become 0. 0 minus 0 times pi is 0, so that makes life easy. You become pi times 1 times 3/5 is 3/5. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. Okay, multiply u by 2 over 2, so pi times 6 over 10 minus multiply u by 5 over 5, 5 over 10, and you're going to end up with pi times 1/10, which is pi over 10. Breathe in, breathe out. Washers.